The name is Nick Rudnitsky, CEO of RSI Projects Incorporated. I'm the CEO, owner, operator of RSI Projects, a residential renovation construction company that's moving into the production of panelized-based construction and assembly methods. So, okay, what does that actually mean? What that means is we build the exterior walls of the house off-site here in our workshop, and then ship it to site and basically like Lego click together a more or less finished house, saving tons of site work and leading to a much more efficient assembly process. I've always been interested in building and hands-on work. You know, I was crawling underneath my parents' dining table at the age of 8 with a set of pliers, tightening the IKEA bolts, that kind of thing. So, you know, it's been a lifelong interest. It's just in the last decade that it's, you know, turned into a career. Find the right consultants, and, you know, learn that you can't do everything. You have to rely on other people, trust other people, and yeah, build the right team. Really, that's the only way to stay sane in this game. Clinging on by your fingernails comes to mind. I mean, there was a lot more paperwork shuffling before BAGE came on board. So yeah, there were, usually most of Sunday was occupied by needing to do a lot of that in-house accounting work. Time management certainly factored into it. It was more actually the confidence in knowing that it was that nothing glaring was being missed. Because in-house, like, we're just a couple of builders trying to figure it out. So getting a professional on board to make sure it was getting done right was the primary driving factor. Their sort of cool, calm, even tone, and like the fact that, you know, they've seen it all before, and they saw a clear path forward was incredibly encouraging and reassuring. So the impression was definitely one of like, okay, these guys can help. These guys can button things up for us. Day-to-day has smoothed out because there's fewer days that I need to devote to the bookkeeping and the accounting, where they handle a lot of the sort of more mechanical components of it, and the systems they implemented make it much simpler for expenses in the field to be input into our accounting system, and makes it much simpler for us to pay and receive payments through the system they set up. So it's a lot fewer steps in the whole moving and monitoring of money. So yeah, it's less day to day and more hour to hour. There's the component of having more time in the week. That's one. Obviously, that's the one commodity you can't ever get more of. But also the more clearly updated month-by-month financial status of the company. Like, you know, how are we doing in terms of receivables? How are we doing in terms of liabilities? How are we doing in terms of tax burden? You know, questions that I've just been guessing at for the last 8 or 9 years. The flow from expense input to that overlapping with the accounting system, to that overlapping with the billing system and collection system. The fact that, sure, there's a couple of different platforms that we have to work with, but they all talk to one another, and they're simple enough that all of our people are equipped to input what they need to input, saving me the trouble from doing it. And the fact that our payments or our receivables are just handled through a, you know, very clever bank-to-bank transfer protocol. Like, we don't have to shuffle paper checks, we don't have to shuffle paperwork receipts, because they're digitally input, they're digitally transferred. It's just eliminated a bunch of steps and paperwork. It's really lubricated the whole accounting process. I really appreciate the fact that they have a service ticket system, so that there's a query, a technical problem, an accounting issue, bookkeeping issue, whatever. We just issue a ticket, and then we have a system through which we can track the response, and we know who's looking after it, and we know that we see when it's resolved, and then we have a paper trail of what happened and why, and we can go back to old answers. Very much in line with how we relate with our clients, with a very detailed messaging system and tracking system, and the transparency of what's going on. Yeah, I really appreciate how it's just you're not just throwing questions into the void. They get picked up, and you can track them. Yeah, especially anybody in the smaller, medium end of the construction. Like if your revenues are less than a couple $1 million a year, you're unlikely to have an in-house accountant, and your systems are probably as haggard as mine were 3 years ago. So yeah, that, and honestly any other small business, like the platforms they have set up and the systems they have integrated are a fantastic boon. In recommending BAGE, I'd say first and foremost it's how well integrated the whole system is. The team that they have spans everything from data entry, bookkeeping, to chief financial officer services. So there's a degree of solution for pretty much any medium-sized business. The fact that they strive to be paperless is a godsend as far as I'm concerned. The various software platforms that they have integrated, the fact that they simplify your accounting billing because you pay BAGE the monthly subscription, and that comes with all these otherwise individual subscriptions that they just bundle together for you. They're doing for bookkeeping and accounting what I've been hoping to be able to implement for years now. So save yourself a ton of trouble and just let them do it, because they've got it dialed in.